Now here, important points about object cloning in Java that we will refer. Important points about object cloning in Java. Java.lang.object class has protected object clone throws clone not supported exception. Clone not supported exception is a checked exception. Look at the signature of clone. What is different here from other methods is this method is protected. This method is protected. So protected, what do we know about protected accessibility so far? Let us revise.
Same package and in subclass of
class in a different
outside protected member can be accessible everywhere in the same package. It can be accessible in a different package provided that class is a subclass of the class where that member is there. And today we are going to discuss more about that protected accessibility. You just know, till now you just know that protected member can be accessible in a different package in a child class. But today we are going to discuss some more points about that. So first of all, have a look at clone method signature in the object class. The accessibility is protected. That means when you override, you can override. That means when you override, how many options do you have as far as accessibility is concerned?
Protected and public.
Yes, very good. Protected and public, because overriding method must have same or more accessibility. Okay. What about return type? What are the options you have as far as return type is concerned? Can you go for covariant? Yes. Why not? Yes. Without any doubt, you can go for covariant. So suppose you are in my class, and if you are overriding clone, then instead of return type object, you can keep my class. Okay. Object class clone method has been declared as throws clone not supported exception, which is a checked exception. So while overriding, how many options do you have?
handle or declare.
Nine
Or subtype.
Three options. Exception and specific one.
Actually, if you don't want to declare any checked exception, don't declare. That comes under which point? Overriding method may not declare check exception declared by overridden method. If you want to declare, you can declare same clone not supported exception, or you can declare subtype of clone not supported exception. But there is no subtype of clone not supported exception. So either you don't declare, or if you want to declare the same. And you can't declare parent. You can't say in your clone method, you can't say throws exception. That's not possible. That will not compile. Now, if you need to override, sorry. If you need to clone or copy, if you need to copy object of a particular class, that class has two. If you want to copy object of particular class, in our last example, which object we clone? Int array. Int array. Now, when you create int array, there is also some class, inbuilt class comes into picture. That class has done sufficient arrangement. So that class on integer array, on float array, on double array, on Boolean array, whatever, we can call clone. But as far as user-defined class is concerned, if user-defined class object you want to clone, then what are the conditions? Condition number one, that class must implement clonable interface. That class must implement clonable interface. Now, when I say that class must implement clonable interface concept, whenever there are contracts, we go for interface. Now, when our class must implement clonable interface, we will go and search how many methods are there in clonable interface, so that we have to define them. But here, one new point is clonable interface does not have a single abstract method. That's why it is called as marker interface. Clonable interface does not have a single abstract method. That's why it is called as marker interface. But your class must implement that. I will talk about that. Class must implement clonable interface. Good news here is clonable interface does not have a single abstract method. So you don't have to define any method. And then override clone of the object class. Two things are compulsory. First, suppose your class is my class. Then make my class implement clonable. You don't have to define any method because clonable is a marker interface which does not contain a single abstract method is called as marker interface. So class my class implement my clonable interface, and in that my class you must override which method? Clone method. That we will see in the example. But before we go ahead, you just look at this note. So what are the requirements if you want to clone object of your class? So if a question is asked, in order to clone an object, what are the requirements in Java we have? So number one, implement clonable interface, and number two, override clone method of object class. Okay. Now something about protected accessibility. Important about protected. Important about protected. Now, when I asked you question, explain accessibility modifiers or what are the accessibility modifiers in Java, you explain. Most of the times I have got a correct answer up till now. Private, default, protected, public. Private in the same class, default within the same package. Protected, same package and different package if the class is subclass. Public, everywhere. Now here when you explain, protected member can be accessible everywhere in the same package, and it can be accessible in different package also, provided the class is subclass of the class where that member is there. This answer is correct, but this answer is incomplete actually. This answer is correct, but this answer is incomplete. Actually, when the question is explain accessibility modifiers or what are the accessibility modifiers in Java, that answer is okay. But if the question comes, that question might come in the interview. How exactly protected members are accessed in a different package? You will say, okay, a protected member will be accessed in a different package if the class is subclass. Now here, this answer is incomplete. What question I have been asking since beginning is, what are the accessibility modifiers in Java? For that question, that point is correct. Protected member can be accessed in the same package and different package if the class is subclass. Okay, perfect. But if the question is asked, how exactly protected member is accessed in a different package, तो उसका आंसर है, in a different package, protected member can be accessed in the child class, but through inheritance. Through inheritance. What does that mean? Through inheritance. Let's see. Inside Clone Pro folder, important info protected. Protected accessibility demo. Protected accessibility demo. My class 1 and my class 2. My class 1 and my class 2. Look at my class 1 first. Then I will show you my class 2. Then I will show you parallelly both the files. My class 1. Protected void display. Now what will you say about this display? You know that display will be accessible everywhere in the same package. What is the package name? Package name is trial. Package name is trial. So inside package trial, display will be accessible everywhere. No doubt about that. But can it be accessed outside the package? Yes. Outside the package means my class 2. Look at this. Can we access display outside the package? Package trial 1. So can we access display in trial 1? Yes, provided class should be subclass of my class 1. Class should be subclass of my class 1. And have a look at that. Class sub extends my class 1. Yes, now in sub we can access that display. But how? How, that is more than important. More than important, I will say. Why? Because if you don't know that, you will get compilation error. And you will wonder, I'm not able to access that protected member in the child class, in a different package. Documentation says that protected member can be accessed in a different package in the child class. I'm not able to access. You're not able to access because you don't know exactly how to access that. So one thing is clear, inside class sub extends my class 1, we can access that display. But how? Look at that. Class sub has got fun. Class sub has got fun. If we try to access display, if you try to access by saying only display, the way one member function calls another member function, no error. No error. That is what I said. Protected member can be accessed in a different package inside child class, but through inheritance. Through inheritance means in the inheritance, the way you access parent class members, you know, how do you access parent class members? Directly. वैसे ही access करना है. You must access by that way. If you try to create object of my class 1 and access, it will be error. It will be error. So you must know that. So just look at this part only. How to access? Only display. If you try to create reference of my class 1, that's not possible.
Sir, super is also not possible, right?
Huh?
Super.
Super dot display बोलने की जरूरत नहीं ना. Display is there ना. Correct.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Look at only fun, huh? Don't look at anything else. So inside fun, how can it be accessed? Inside fun, we can access by just saying display. We can't access by my class 1 reference. Okay, so that is number 1 point. Second point, can we override that display? Yes, why not? While overriding, how many options do we have as far as accessibility is concerned? Either that can be, either overriding method can be protected or public.
Or public.
Either overriding method can be protected or public. So we are overriding also. One thing, first thing we discuss how to call directly, not by creating the reference of my class one. Second thing we discuss, can we override? Yes, of course, you can override. It's not final, no? So you can override. Okay. Now understand that my class 1 has got display protected. So we can concentrate in my class 2. Class sub 1 extends sub.